Hello, fuckos! Hey guys, how's it going? It's good to be back, and you're listening to me, Chris Hunter, on the Chris Hunter Comedy Podcast. How's it going? How you doing? Are you keeping well? How's the family? I've been away for a few weeks, not on holiday or anything, just being busy with life, so I've not had a chance to do the Al podcast over there for a couple of weeks, and I feel really bad about that, because the most I've missed so far is 1 week, but now it's 2, I'm afraid. But that's how it is sometimes, sometimes life simply gets in the way. And what can you do? But you know what? It's been a busy couple of weeks. Not just for me, but for the world. Especially in England. We've been dealing with, what is it called? Like Angry Edna or something? Well, there's been this storm, basically, which for some reason brought snow out of absolutely nowhere. And now, it's fine today, but it's been properly bashing down to the point where it's just fucking everywhere. It's an absolute pain in the arse, and I think it's also gave the old Mr. Grim Reaper a bit of a speed up with his normal job, because sadly over these past 2 weeks we've lost a few important people to this world. Now as a comedian, you can appreciate the works of Ken Dodd. You may not like everything he does, but the man lived and breathed comedy, and sadly he passed away last week. And you know what? That touched me a little bit, because old Doddy, he was always there, but you always took him for granted, always smiling, always trying to make people laugh. That was his goal in life. And I would love to have a similar goal in life, My goal is just to make people's lives that little bit better than they already are. Slightly less shitty. And is that such a bad thing to want? Is it really? Is it really? Tell me in a letter, a self-addressed envelope letter to my house where you don't know where it is. Shut up, Chico. Okay. We also lost Jim Bowen. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know what else he really did besides Bullseye, but I'm sure it's some nice stuff. But he wasn't one of the people caught up in one of these scandals years ago, was he? I don't know. I should research this sometimes. I really should research this podcast. But I can't always do that kind of thing, because, like I said before, I'm a busy individual. I have a life. I have busy times all the times. Also, quite possibly the most important death to happen in this globe in the past 70 years. Poor bugger, Mr. Stephen Hawking died. Sorry, Professor! No mister here. He was a goddamn robot professor. Stephen Hawking sadly passed away at the ripe old age of, I think it was like 72, 79. He was a lot older than he should have been, is what I'm saying. And by that, I mean, I don't want him dead. I'm saying that when he was, I think he was 20, they said to him that he'd have like 2 years left. And then look at him, fucking goes on to prove so much stuff. Help science in so many ways. Help us understand the world, understand our cosmos, understand the universe and everything within it. And you know what? He is a legitimate legend. Like, we're not going to have another one like him. He was, we might do, but not for a while, because before him was basically Einstein. You know what I'm saying? That's that level of genius. And it's going to be a real shame. But hey, good news. There's still idiots on TV getting paid to be fucking stupid. I hate reality TV. It's just Tattoo of Us still a TV show. And if it is, why? Anybody who knows, does anybody here know anybody who works at MTV or whatever channel it is that they're on? Do me a favour, get in touch. If you're a PA, if you're a cousin of a PA or whatever, you could be working in catering, you got any kind of involvement with that show, do me a favour, get in touch. I want to know why that show exists. Who is your demographic and why are you allowed to work? I just don't get it. I'm doing my podcast upstairs today. How fancy am I? So it may sound slightly different because I'm on the slightly nicer quality microphone, because Charlie isn't using it for once, because normally when I'm doing the podcast, as you guys probably know by now, she is normally upstairs she's upstairs streaming a video game on Twitch, and I'm normally downstairs recording my podcast on the Al Snowball mic, which isn't as nice a quality. But today she is off to the theatre. She's so refined. She's so fine and dandy. She's off to the theatre with her mum. Gonna go watch, you know what? I don't know if it's a musical or a play, but it's called Fat Friends. And I have no idea what that is, or what it could even be about, apart from maybe it's a group of ladies and gents crying on the stage about how much they like potatoes too much. I don't know. I have no idea what it could be. But that's where she is. So I'm getting to enjoy the splendour that is my own PC. It's glorious. I love it. I get to have all my screens on. Oh, it's pretty. I haven't got to deal with my piece of shit laptop like I do every goddamn week when I'm doing this podcast. I should have recorded on a different day, really, shouldn't I? But anyway, Yeah, so these past few weeks, like I said, we've had that crazy-ass storm going on. Lots of snow, lots of trouble for everybody, especially in places like Ireland, where I saw a video of a couple of guys who were properly taking advantage of the fact that it was so badly snowing. I mean, it was that bad that the police and army couldn't get to people to give supplies and whatnot. So some people tend to looting, even though it was only a day or two, you know, because it goes nuts like that. And there was this couple of guys who decided that the smartest thing to do would be to steal a JCB and then go and rip the front off Lidl. And I'm not saying that metaphorically. They literally, I've seen a video of it. They literally took a JCB, drove it to Lidl, and tore the front off the entire building. Now, apparently, they then also stole the safe and then tried to open it in front of a crowd of people. Oh, sorry about that. They tried to open it in front of a crowd of people. But, you know, the police and the army couldn't do anything about it. They were stuck by the snow. So, what can you do? And I don't know if the guys have been caught or not yet. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I don't know if they've been caught. Hopefully they have. But you know what? That, as bad as that is slightly hilarious. Like, oh, I mean, in a bad way. It's like when you see somebody fall down the stairs. You sincerely hope they're okay. You sincerely hope they haven't died. But at the same time, you want to giggle. You want to snigger. You want to go, you know, whatever that noise is. Describe that noise. How do you spell that noise? I think it's like 4 N's and a PH at the end. That might be right. I don't know. It's a disgusting sound, though, isn't it? Jesus. So, yeah. Anyway, today we have something a little bit different for you. Ooh, what's that you say? Well, today, my friends, I have got myself a sponsor for the episode. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will return shortly after this message from our sponsors. Are you lonely? Are you hungry? Are you horny? Well, look no further. Introducing Dr. Swirly's Love Muffins, the first of its kind. It is both a portable single-use sex toy and a snack for after. Simply thrust wildly into it, then enjoy the warm, tasty flavour of life that you have just released. Available now in any good sex dungeon or chemist. And thank you to the handsome people at Dr. Swirly's. Good news, guys. I've been keeping busy. I have booked myself not 1, not 2, but 3 shows over the next few months. Again, I'm still keeping it to 1 a month because we are going away again at the end of this year. So I want to try and keep it as simplistic as I can. Plus, I'm a busy guy. I'm very busy these days. At the moment, I've been doing lots of personal work at work, all my 3D stuff, trying to hone my skills, trying to become the greatest artist in the world, if not this house. So yeah, it's been keeping me busy. So I've got a gig. Let me see what my next one is. I have a gig in April in the Albion in Warrington. I'll give you exact dates next week when I remember what they are. And then there's another one in May somewhere else in Warrington. And then there's one in July somewhere else in Warrington. So I'll keep you all posted on what the details are. But if you know, keep an eye on my social media. I'll put stuff on there. Oh, I'm all out of breath. You know, I speak too quickly for myself sometimes. Now, speaking of comedy and whatnot and getting gigs, I've been trying to write some more material recently, but I went to, I've been a bit inspired recently. I've been tempted to start some musical comedy. Now, I know that's kind of a cliche. It's kind of not a cliche. It's kind of a hacky thing to do, musical comedy, but I think that's only if it's done badly. And I'm not saying I do it well, but I was thinking the other day, like, it's not always hacky, you know? Like, for example, I went to see Bill Bailey in Warrington, and holy fuck, I've not laughed like that in a while. Like, I was crying laughing on, like, 3 occasions at least. And it inspired me. I thought, you know what? Bill does musical stuff. He's not a hack. Tim Minchin does musical stuff. He's definitely not a hack. So I thought, I can probably do musical stuff, you know? So I wanted to see what that was like. So, yeah, I've been very tempted by that. I might do it. I might not. I don't know yet. I did before. I had an idea for a couple of songs in my head. Just quick, stupid things, you know? But it was a bit of a giggle. And, you know, honestly, I had fun. I felt like I was being a bit more creative. I feel like it's more in my kind of wheelhouse. Now, what that says about me, I don't know. If that means I'm a hack, hey, fair enough. You know, I'm brand new to this shit. So, yeah, you know, that's how that is. So, as I say, I went to see Bill Bailey. Oh my god, last time I saw Bill was on the Tinselworm tour, which is a long time ago now, and I saw him in the MEN Arena, of all places. Now luckily I was sat on the sort of standing area, but they had seats there, of the stage, so I was only about 6 rows from the front, which is a good place to see comedy from, because I don't like arenas for comedy. It's not the same, you know. I think it needs to be intimate. Like the Tim Minchin song says, nothing quite kills comedy like arenas, which he obviously ironically sung in that very same arena, and that was the joy of it. It's full of irony. Now, my brother's been busy this week. He was on the Pete Price show on Radio City the other day, City Talk, I think it's called. And you know what? He's been a fan of Pete Price since as far as I can remember. You know, it's one of the few books he'd read, and he always had the show on, and we used to have the show on. Me and Charlie used to put it on over night time and stuff, and it's so good to see that he's been on it. Now, sadly, I missed the show. I can't remember what I was doing, but I completely lost track of time, and I missed the show that he was doing. So hopefully it'll be online soon, because they tend to do that with the clips that he's on. I've listened to all the ones he's done so far, so I don't want to miss this one. But yeah, I was so proud of him, because, you know, Pete Price, like him or not, I mean, I like him, but some people don't. But like him or not, you know, he's a Liverpool icon, and for Jack to be on his show, it's so good. I was made up for him. Now let's see. Oh yeah, there's something in the papers today. There's some Scottish comedian. I'll say comedian in inverted brackets. He's a YouTube comedian, but you know what? What he did was bad, but at the same time it was kind of funny. It's like the whole falling down the stairs analogy again. But anyway, he's potentially facing jail time, because online he did a video of the fact that, like, his girlfriend is always going on about this pug that she's got, which is adorable. So he thought he'd try and make it do the least cute thing possible, which was turn it into a Nazi. So every time he says Sieg Heil to the dog raises its paw like a Nazi salute, which that in itself, that's quite funny. Now, sadly, during the video, he then went on, instead of just saying Sieg Heil, he then went on to saying gas the Jews over and over again, which is obviously a bad thing to say. And people are taking offence to it. And I get that. I do get that. It is a bit insensitive. At the same time, it is comedy, so take it with a pinch of salt. But also, I get that that's not a good subject for comedy. It's a cheap subject that school kids use. You know, it's like in the 90s when every punchline was being gay. You know, that's not a bad thing at all. I mean, the gay bit, not the punchline bit. That is a bad thing. It's cheap and cheesy and tacky and hacky. That's the word. But yeah, so this guy's potentially facing jail time. Apparently, I can't see how. It's classed as a hate crime, apparently. But in other news this week, and I feel this is quite imbalanced, really. Ant from Ant and Dec. I like Ant and Dec, don't get me wrong. They seem like really nice guys. But Ant's gone off the wagon again. He crashed his car. He was drink driving, and he crashed his car, like properly ploughed on head on into somebody else. There's a kid being hurt, apparently. Everyone's going to be all right, but still, you know. But also, the thing is, like, he did that, and then the way the news was reporting it is saying that Ant McPartlin, is it? Yeah, Ant McPartlin going back to rehab after a drink driving incident. And I was thinking, well, no, hang on a minute. Drink driving, so surely he's going to court or jail or something, you know? If I was to go drink driving, they wouldn't be like, oh, it's fine, just go to rehab, you'll be all right. No, of course not. I haven't got any money. I can't just make them kind of decisions. I can't send people in to say, oh, he's fine, don't worry about him. He's fine. He'll be all right. Just lock him up in the old rehab clinic for a bit. He'll be right as rain. No, I'd be in jail. I'd have my gaping wonder region. Gaping, as the title suggests. But anyway, that's that. You know, I don't want to be bitching about people. I'm just telling the news. You know, it's been a while. I've not chatted to you lovely folks for ages, and I love it. I love chatting to you people, and I miss it. I've been streaming loads, so it's kind of nice to sort of, you know, just be able to keep talking like I like doing. So, that puts us on to this week's Japanese word of the week. Today's Japanese word of the week is onara, which is fart. But the best thing is you can say sayonara. And then you can say, you know, has this girl Sayo, which is a popular Japanese name for a girl, by the way, has Sayo farted? Sayonara. See? Nice and easy to remember. This week's recommendation, not that they need it, but I'm going to recommend The Game Grumps. It is a YouTube channel of two guys who play video games and have me in hysterics every single night when me and Charlie go to bed half an hour early just so we can watch Zelda. Now, I really like these guys. They had a changeover a few years ago where they changed one of the hosts to somebody else, and there's a load of uproar. Not bad uproar, just like, hey, what happened there? And it was not revealed for years. It was basically just creative differences, and that's fine. So yeah, I recommend The Game Grumps. Now, Questions. I actually have a question this week. Yay! Questions. So, this question is, do I prefer Wheatley or GLaDOS from Portal 2? For those of you who haven't played it, Portal 2 is a puzzle FPS type game on a lot of different things. And it's really, really good and really funny. And Wheatley is voiced by Stephen Merchant. And GLaDOS is voiced by, I'm sorry I forgot your name, but she's really nice. I'm going to have to go with Wheatley, because Wheatley is funny as fuck. GLaDOS is awesome, but she's just kind of evil. Not like, a little too evil. But Wheatley is funny. I like Wheatley. He's a nice guy. So remember, guys, if you've got any questions for me, hit me up. Any questions, any advice, whatever you want, send it on my way. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Chris Hunter Comedy, or you can head to my Twitter, which is at Chris Hunter Com, which is short for comedy. I'm also on Instagram at Chris Hunter Comedy. Now, if you like what you hear, or if you don't, do me a favour, just go and rate it on iTunes. 1 star, 5 star, I don't mind. I just like to know that people are listening and people might care in any direction. And obviously feel free to subscribe. And I love you all. Have yourselves a freaking fantastic evening. Goodbye, good night, Chris/Chico